like sparkles. Hello beautiful booktubers, happy February! I'm here today to talk about my January favourites, all things TV, movies, podcasts and anything else I can think of. So first up is favourite films from January. I ended up getting a copy of Practical Magic because I was reminded that that movie actually existed, and I remember really enjoying it when I was a teenager, just the lovely feel of it. It is a book which I have now bought to read, so I'll let you know what I think of that in a wrap-up in the future. However, Practical Magic the film is... God, what's her name? Sandra Bullock. Practical Magic is Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman as some witchy sisters who grow up without their parents. I think the dad dies when they're young and they think it's because of a curse, and they get brought up with their aunts, which is Rizzo or Stockard Channing and Diane, can't remember her name, the mum from Lost Boys. And it's just a really lovely tale. There's love and romance, there's a bit of horror, there's some creepiness, and it's just the kind of film that makes me feel so warm and fuzzy. And I also really like the witchy element when they're creating all the spells and stuff like that, and also the midnight margaritas scene makes me really wish I drank again. And the second film I watched is Get Out, which I know I'm probably really late to the party. This is the story about a young guy. He's a black guy and he has a white girlfriend. He's going to her house for the weekend to stay with her parents and to meet them for the first time. When he gets there, some weird stuff starts happening. There's only white people, only older white people. And when he eventually does run into another person of colour, something weird happens, and it's just about that. And when I saw it had come out, I thought it looked pretty good, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but I absolutely loved it. But because I knew there was a twist, like literally all the way through, me and my partner were like, is it this? It's going to be this. They're aliens. They're this. They're that. Oh my God. But it was just absolutely brilliant, and I really enjoyed it. It was good to get a bit of a scare. Honourable mention film-wise goes to Bram Stoker's Dracula that has recently been added onto Netflix. Bram Stoker's Dracula was one of my favourite films. I keep wobbling. Bram Stoker's Dracula was one of my favourite films when I was a kid. It came out in 1992 when I was 12, and I remember watching it probably from when I was about 15, and I remember being absolutely obsessed with Lucy and the dresses and the Dracula's brides, and just the whole look and feel of the film is wonderful. Keanu Reeves is terrible in it. Winona Ryder's accent is absolutely awful, but I just really thoroughly enjoyed the rewatch of that, and I might even rewatch it again this weekend. Next up is actually an event that I went to, and it's just a social event with my friends. We've been talking for months that we were going to have a craft night, and we actually finally got round to it. We went round to my friend Roz's. A couple of my friends did some taxidermy, which not for me, but they did some taxidermy, and me and a few others did some drawing. I did a picture of Lilith for my friend. I'll put it up here. I'm quite pleased with it. It's by no means perfect, but I'm still improving, I'm still learning, and she really likes it, so I was really pleased with that. And just the whole vibe of the evening, it was really cool. We just put some music on, we got takeaway at one point, it was proper chilled, and before you know it, it was 1 AM and we were like, shit, I didn't realise it was so late. But it was just really good because I can be a bit hermity and just end up staying in on my own quite a lot, or just me and my partner. Next up, TV. And it's a bit of a surprise one for me. I started watching Winona Earp, which is on Netflix. Winona Earp is the story of a descendant of Wyatt Earp, and something supernaturally is happening, and I'm explaining it really badly, but it is like Supernatural meets Buffy, and it's all westerny because, you know, Wyatt Earp's descendants, and they have to send... Winona Earp is in charge of sending the revenants back to hell by shooting them with Wyatt Earp's special gun. But there's a few other things happening, and there's some relationship stuff that goes on, and I have to say, after watching season 1, the character development in it is absolutely brilliant. You just see these characters just grow and fully form, and I just really enjoyed it. And my personal favourite is Bobo. I feel like I've got a bit of a weird crush on him, even though, like, physically he's an odd looking bloke, but when he's Bobo, something about him. And honourable mention goes to Dirk Gently season 2. Dirk Gently is the story of a holistic detective who basically, he doesn't try and solve things, stuff just gets solved. Season 2 carries on with that, and it's just silly and happy, and there's sad moments, and it's just so wonderful. The writing is really spot on, and Elijah Wood is great. There's a lot of really wonderful relationships that form by the time you get to season 2, and it's unlike anything that I've ever seen before. Really, really enjoyable. And finally, my favourite podcast for January is The Faculty of Horror. Faculty of Horror is hosted by Andrea Subassetti and Alexandra West, and each week they pick 1 or 2 films to talk about. They basically dissect them and discuss them, and it's just great. It's done in a really wonderful, informative way, but they're also really funny as well, and I'm just absolutely loving it. I think I've beasted about 20 of their episodes. Absolutely wonderful if you're into horror, and they do touch on sci-fi and that sort of thing as well, so give that a go if that's what you're into. That is my favourites for January. Let me know what you thought. What are your favourites? Let's have a chat down in the comments. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another video. Big hugs. Bye!